Listen and practice.
Hi, my name is Michael, and I want to tell you a story about how I started learning English. I live in a small, peaceful town surrounded by beautiful hills and fields. Everyone in my town knows each other, and we all get along very well. I love living here because it feels like one big family. But I am also very curious about the world outside my town. Ever since I was a little boy, I have loved meeting new people and hearing their stories. I am very interested in different cultures and traditions. I often ask my parents about other countries and what life is like there. They tell me about the delicious foods, the exciting festivals, and the different ways people live their lives. All these stories make me want to see the world for myself. One sunny afternoon, I was sitting under my favorite oak tree in our backyard, reading a book about world geography. The book was full of colorful pictures of different countries, their landscapes, and their people. As I turned the pages, I imagined myself visiting these places, trying new foods, and making friends from all over the world. That's when I had an idea. To really connect with people from different countries, I needed to learn a common language. I decided that learning English would be the best way to do this. English is a language spoken by many people around the world. I thought that if I learned English, it would help me travel to different countries, understand different cultures, and make new friends. I also realized that being good at English would help me in school. My teachers often tell us that English is important for many subjects, like science, history, and even math. I wanted to do well in my studies, and I felt that learning English would give me a big advantage. As I thought more about it, I became very excited. I could see myself speaking English fluently, chatting with new friends, and exploring new places. I felt ready to start my English learning adventure. That evening, I decided to tell my parents about my plan. At dinner, I said, "Mom, Dad, I want to learn English." They looked at me with surprise, but quickly smiled. "That's a wonderful idea, Michael," my mom said. "Learning English will open many doors for you." "We are very proud of you," my dad added. "We will help you in any way we can." Hearing my parents' support made me feel even more confident. I decided to start learning English right away. I made a list of things I needed. First, I wanted to get an English dictionary. This would help me understand the meaning of new words. Next, I wanted to find some beginner English books that would be easy to read. I also thought it would be helpful to have a notebook where I could write down new words and phrases. Additionally, I planned to look for videos and apps online that could help me practice English. The next day, I went to the library with my parents. We found a good English dictionary, some simple English storybooks, and a notebook. I felt excited and ready to begin. When we got home, I started looking for English learning videos on the internet. I found many interesting videos with lessons on basic vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. I also discovered some fun language learning apps that made practicing English feel like playing a game. I knew that learning English would be challenging, but I was determined. I decided to set some clear goals for myself. First, I wanted to learn the English alphabet and basic words. Then, I planned to learn simple sentences and common phrases. My goal was to be able to have basic conversations in English within a few months. Every day, I spent some time practicing English. I used my dictionary to learn new words and wrote them in my notebook. I read the beginner books and tried to understand the stories. I watched the videos and practiced saying the words out loud. Sometimes, I sang along with English songs to improve my pronunciation. I also practiced speaking English with my parents. They didn't know much English, but they were happy to help me practice. We would try simple conversations like, "Hello, how are you?" and "I am fine, thank you." It was fun and made me feel more confident. Learning English was not just about studying, it was about opening doors to new adventures and experiences. I felt excited every time I learned something new. I knew that each step was bringing me closer to my dream of exploring the world and making new friends. My journey to learn English was just beginning, but I was ready for the challenge. With a heart full of dreams and a mind eager to learn, I took my first step into the world of English. I couldn't wait to see where this new adventure would take me. I knew that learning English would be a big task, so I decided to set some clear goals for myself. First, I thought about what I wanted to achieve and how I could do it step by step. My first goal was to learn the English alphabet. I knew that understanding the alphabet was the foundation of learning any language. I wanted to be able to recognize and write all the letters, both uppercase and lowercase. This would help me read and spell words correctly. Next, I decided to learn some basic words. I thought about everyday words that I would need to use often. Words like apple, book, cat, and dog. I made a list of these words and planned to learn a few new words each day. I wanted to make sure I knew how to pronounce them correctly and understand their meanings. After learning basic words, my next goal was to form simple sentences. I wanted to be able to say things like, "I like apples," "This is a book," and "The cat is on the table." Understanding how to put words together to make sentences was very important. I knew that this would help me communicate better. I also aimed to have basic conversations in English within a few months. I imagined myself talking to new friends, asking questions, and answering them. Simple conversations like, "Hello, how are you?" and "I am fine, thank you," were my initial targets. Being able to talk with others in English was one of my main goals because it would make learning the language more fun and useful. With these goals in place, I felt ready to begin my English learning journey. I was excited and determined to learn. I knew it would take time and effort, but I was prepared to work hard. Each small step would bring me closer to my dream of speaking English fluently. I started by making a plan for my daily practice. Every day, I would spend some time learning the alphabet, practicing new words, and forming simple sentences. I would also try to have short conversations with my parents and friends, even if it was just a few words. I believed that practicing a little every day would help me improve steadily. Having clear goals made me feel confident and organized. I knew what I needed to do and how to do it. I was ready to start my English learning adventure with a positive attitude and a lot of enthusiasm. This decision marked the beginning of an exciting journey, and I couldn't wait to see my progress in the coming weeks and months. My first step in learning English was to start with the alphabet. I knew that knowing the letters was the foundation of everything else. So I decided to make learning fun by creating colorful flashcards. Each flashcard had a big, bold letter on it, along with a picture of something that started with that letter. For example, A had a picture of an apple, B had a picture of a book, and so on. Every day I practiced with my flashcards. I would look at the letter, say its name, and then say the word that matched the picture. A, apple. B, book. C, cat. I did this over and over until I knew all the letters by heart. Sometimes I would mix up the flashcards and try to put them in order again. Other times, I would ask my parents to quiz me on the letters. This daily practice helped me remember the alphabet quickly. Once I felt confident with the alphabet, I moved on to learning basic vocabulary. I started with words for everyday items. I made a list of simple words like apple, book, cat, dog, car, and house. Just like with the alphabet, I made flashcards for each word. I drew a picture of the item on one side and wrote the word on the other side. Every day, I would go through my vocabulary flashcards. I looked at the picture, said the word out loud, and then flipped the card to check if I got it right. If I made a mistake, I would repeat the word several times to remember it better. I also tried to use these new words in my daily life. For example, when I saw an apple, I would say, apple. When I picked up a book, I would say, book. This helped me connect the words to real objects and remember them better. After I learned a good number of basic words, I started studying simple grammar rules. I learned how to form basic sentences using the words I had learned. For example, I learned to say, I like apples. This is a book. And the cat is on the table. I practiced making sentences with my vocabulary words every day. I wrote them down in my notebook and read them out loud. I also used my flashcards to make sentences. I would pick a few cards and try to make a sentence with the words on them. For example, I would pick the cards for cat, on, and table, and say, the cat is on the table. This was a fun way to practice and helped me understand how to put words together. Daily practice was very important. Every day I spent time with my flashcards, learned new words, and made sentences. I practiced speaking, reading, and writing. The more I practiced, the more confident I felt. I could see my progress, and it made me happy. Learning a little bit every day helped me improve steadily. Sometimes I faced challenges. Some words were hard to remember, and some sentences were difficult to make. But I didn't give up. Whenever I made a mistake, I practiced more until I got it right. My parents and friends were very supportive. They encouraged me and helped me practice. This made the learning process more enjoyable and less stressful. By focusing on the basics, I built a strong foundation for my English skills. Knowing the alphabet, learning basic vocabulary, and understanding simple grammar rules were the first steps in my English learning journey. These steps helped me feel more confident and ready to take on more challenging aspects of the language. I was excited to see how much I had learned in a short time. This motivated me to keep going and to set new goals for myself. My English learning adventure was just beginning, and I couldn't wait to learn more and improve every day. I understood that listening and speaking were crucial for learning a new language. I wanted to hear how English sounded in everyday conversations and be able to talk with others. That's why I started practicing listening and speaking in English. First, I began listening to English songs. I chose songs with clear lyrics that I liked,